Hi everybody, welcome to our yogic happy half hour, our flow as we go, and today we are here in flow. I wanted to share with you a half hour of chair yoga. I've been getting so much response and so many requests to do some more chair. So here we are. So this is about sitting down to help us to get back up, to build some strength and some awareness. So find a chair, preferably something like a dining room chair, some kind of chair in that way. If it has arms, that's okay. It would be better if it doesn't. So let me give you a moment to go ahead and get yourself a chair out to get yourself settled in. I feel a sneeze coming on, so excuse me if I have to sneeze here. I've been cleaning. That's all I seem to do these days is clean, clean, clean. At home, do laundry, laundry, laundry. So hopefully that you've gathered your chair. If you have your mat, that's great. It's nice to have that footing, but if you don't have the mat, that's okay too. Preferably no shoes, because in yoga we want to use our toes, we want to use the bottoms of our feet as kind of little feelers. This gives us information. Excuse me. See, my mother would be saying, see, that's the truth. So our feet do give us information. But if you do need to use your shoes, that's okay, but preferably we'll go without our shoes. So as we find our seat, this is the most important part of the chair practice, is we have to find ourselves sitting in a way that we optimize the body. So we begin by getting our feet to firm into the ground. Now, if your chair is really high and you are not as high as your chair, you could always take your yoga blocks and put those for under your feet. Maybe you could take a couple books. I would say back in the old days we would use telephone books, but I don't even think they have telephone books anymore because nobody has phones. But anything that you could use to raise that up. So we do want our feet to be firm first. We need that sense of grounding and support, that our toes can be wide and long. We can feel the arches of the feet lift. Now what you may notice is that when you sit like this, your back does not come to the back of the chair, and that's okay. So don't think I need to sit back. No, in fact you don't. If though you are feeling yourself sitting back, we do want to make sure that we bring our buttocks back first, so that when we bring the buttocks back, then when we sit up nice and tall, we notice we preserve that natural little low back curve. Our chest can open and we can sit tall, because we don't want this slumping. This is not a reclining chair. So sitting up here nice and tall, let's go ahead and roll our shoulders a few times. Just go ahead and roll those shoulders so that you can feel the chest opening, the shoulders relax, and allow here the arms to come heavily. Allow the backs of the hands to rest on the thigh and the palms turning up. And now we can sit nice and tall, and notice that this is work. So for us, this is going to be like our mountain pose, where we utilize a sense of strength. So sitting up nice and tall, noticing our head balancing perfectly over the shoulders. Notice the spine having these nice little curves. And notice our tail is pressed back a bit, not tucked under, and that's what helps us to sit really tall. Just take a few deep breaths in as you can really feel yourself breathing deeply into the base of the lungs, filling the lung the rest of the way, expanding. And always allowing that breath to rise up the chest and maybe stopping right before the collarbones, because we don't want those shoulders to creep up. And then feeling here as we exhale, letting go, releasing from the top of the chest first, and then the belly. So here you may really feel that movement of the spine. You may feel if that pelvis is trying to move, but just do this a few times just to really get that feel. And then no matter where we are seated, we want to bring ourselves a little more forward. So we want to now keep our backs from that back of the chair, that we must sit up nice and tall. Let's this time bring our hands to our thighs, but look to make sure that we're not squeezing our thighs together, that we open up. So those who practice with me in a chair class, where I talk about SLAM, it's called Sit Like a Man. But some studies have found that men have some less hip issues because they do tend to sit open. Now they have a lot of other issues that are different, but women that tend to try to always hold their legs together have a few other hip and low back issues. So let's just go ahead and sit here comfortably. Bring our hands to our thighs, and as we inhale here, let's open our chest. Maybe feel the elbows bend a little bit, and this is our cow pose. As we exhale, let's draw the belly muscles in, but now use your hands to push into the thighs and feel that back round. And then flow. Breathing in as you lengthen, coming forward, exhaling as you're coming back. And if your back is touching that chair, just go ahead and bring yourself a little more forward in your seat. Just go ahead here, feel that spine, this gentle movement that we can feel. Also beginning to explore that as we inhale, bringing that chest forward, we start actually getting a little hinge at the hip. So we feel ourselves just slowly starting to ease ourselves in a nice fold. Although we're not going there right now, but allow yourself to move where it feels good. Breathing in deeply, exhaling deeply. Now the next time we inhale and our chest comes forward, feel those shoulder blades come together. Feel that chest open. We're going to use the chair with our hands. So depending on the type of chair you have, take one hand, reach to that chair. Maybe your hand comes to the seat. Maybe your hand comes behind the chair. Maybe your hand comes down to the leg. But just go ahead and reach that arm back. Find your fingers to melt in. And if you will, just kind of hook with the fingers lightly. Don't do a big grip. And then once you have the one side, you go ahead and take the other side. Now really feel that chest expand. Feel those shoulder blades coming together. Breathe in and lift that chest, and then slowly come forward just a bit more. And you should start feeling a luscious stretch in the arms. Actually feel those tricep muscles working and wrapping into the bones, because those muscles firm when the arm is straight. Stay here and breathe. Feel that body maybe getting a little bit more forward. And just pause. Let's turn our head to one side. Notice how we feel, how that one shoulder pulls back a bit. We come back center, and we'll do the same with the other side. Come back center. Maybe you can lean forward a little bit more. Feel that back. It's working, but it's lengthening. The heart is open. But just as you took one hand at a time on the back of the chair, we're going to take one hand to one thigh, one hand to the other thigh. Our elbows are bent. We bring our arms deeply into the ribs, and guess what? This is a chaturanga. As you inhale now, press those arms into your legs, lift the body up, open up nice and tall, and find your seat. Let's go ahead and move our butts a little more forward on the chair. So we want to be completely away from the back of the chair. And can we once again give ourselves that little cow and cat flow? Maybe now our body feels a little bit more that we can come forward, exhaling, melting back. Just breathing in, maybe getting a little bit more hinge to that hip. Let's go ahead one more time, coming forward here. We're going to pause as we inhale. So remember I mentioned the chaturanga, that's a little yogi push-up. So here again, feel the elbows bent, feel the arms really strong. Feel the chest open. As you exhale, gently lower the upper body down to the legs, but don't collapse. Keep the back strong, keep the body strong, and as you inhale, press back up again. You got it. Let's go ahead and do that 2 more times. Coming forward, lowering down, feel those elbows bend, controlling this sensation. And as you inhale, press your hands into the thighs, lift your head and shoulders, coming up in a cobra. One more time as we're ready, lengthening through, coming down. And we'll press up once again into that cobra pose. And now finding that space, sitting nice and tall. Maybe go ahead and ease ourselves with our hips. So let's roll the right shoulder just a few times here. We're going to take the arm and help to move. So feel the elbow helping to bend us back, and we start looking to the right. And let's go ahead the next time. Let's see what we can do with that right arm. Now, if you have a really high back chair, you're not going to be able to bring that arm over the back of the chair. If that chair is low, maybe you can let that arm drape over the back. Maybe you say neither of those options are working for you today, so maybe take that right hand and just bring it on the seat of the chair behind you. But just be aware of what happens with that right shoulder. And then we're going to allow the left hand to cross over to the right thigh. But just for a moment, peek at your left elbow. Peek at your left thigh. So you should notice that if you bend that left elbow, it's going to drop right down into the left thigh. So we lift tall, we lift and open, we turn right again, but guess what? We're now going to bend into that left hip. Feel that left elbow come down on that thigh. Still feeling that right side open. Let's go ahead and lift this arm. Take this arm up and reach it over our head, or maybe take it up to the sky. We also have the option of holding on to the back of the chair. So many options for us to what feels good of where we need to be. Find your breath. And then as we inhale, lift up again. Find that twist to the right. Notice how that elbow comes off that leg, sitting nice and tall. And then let's come back to center. When I find one of the coolest things is doing twists on a chair, because your hips don't move. You can really feel those muscles. You can really feel that space. So just hang out here, breathe. Let's start wiggling around that left shoulder as we take that up and start to make that circle, letting ourselves look to the left. So let's take it through the next time. Can we reach that arm back? So again, if you're having a high back chair, that arm is not going to come back over that chair. If that chair is just right and you can let the arm melt down, go ahead and do so. Or maybe your option is to bring this hand and take it behind that left hip. Feel that left side of the chest open. Right hand now slides over to the left thigh. We lift tall, but let's take a peek to the right. Turn and look to the right. Look at that right elbow. It should be overlying that right thigh. Should be softly bent. And then once again, we lift and we turn left. Feel that nice twist, getting taller. And then when you're ready, we're going to hinge into that right hip. Allow that right elbow to come down on that right thigh. And again, this left hand, maybe you hold on to the back of that chair. Maybe you bring that arm up into the sky, straight up and over. Or maybe you let that arm reach over you. Notice how those positions feel. Just because it may be harder doesn't necessarily mean it's better. And then as we inhale to come on out, let that arm once again find that place where it was as we come out of that bend. And then come back center. Hopefully you can feel that as I can, the rib cage. You can really feel it in the side. And again, because we're not moving those hips. So we're going to go ahead and scoot our tushes a little bit more forward again. See if you can feel the thighs just kind of not on the chair. And let's roll our shoulders a few times. And then let our hands come down to either side of the hips on the chair. And see if you can straighten those arms. So again, remember I said those triceps, this tricep muscle works when the arm is straight. So you want to press into the chair, and as you do, feel now that pelvic floor rise, feel that belly, feel yourself lift, and feel now how light you are on the chair. You feel the back muscles working. You feel the belly working. And find your breath. Now relax the arms a bit, but see if you can keep the body still really firm and strong. So we don't let ourselves slump into this space. Let's sit up nice and tall. And then remember in our beginning where we did our little inhale and we leaned and then we exhaled and we came back. Well, this time, instead of our coming back, we're going to inhale once again and come forward. Now notice as we come forward, the back of the butt may start to rise up from the chair a little bit. Feel the weight really strongly come into the legs. So we start to feel those legs really start to power. And then slowly just come out of it and come back up. We're going to do that one more time. Take that nice inhale, lengthening, come forward. Feel just when that butt starts to rise up. Feel the belly strong. We're not rounding into the back. Feel those hands strongly. Feel the legs powerful. And then one more time, ease ourselves back. Take a moment here. Now we're going to come into that space one more time. But we may actually be able to bring our butt, hover it off the chair just a little bit. So noticing where you are, you may want to adjust where your feet are. You may want to adjust where your butt is. If you have a really high chair, it's going to be easier. If you have a really low chair, it's going to be harder. So don't be hard on yourself. Taking that nice big inhale As you start coming forward, lean into that leg and feel that hip come up. Just pause there. And then if you can, hands on your thighs, let your upper body lift a bit. Feel those legs nice and strong. Utkatasana, powerful pose. And then let's inhale all the way up, reach up. Ah, yes. Let's bring our hands down to the side. But now we need to walk ourselves back towards our chair, that you can feel the chair touching your leg. Okay, you need to absolutely have contact of that chair and your leg. Let's take a nice mountain pose. Take that nice inhale, lifting. Let's bring our hands to our thighs. Take another big inhale. This time as you exhale, start bending your hips back. Now don't collapse. Come back slow and maybe stop. Find that bend. Feel the strength here in the legs. And then can you gently and slowly start bringing yourself down. So that's why I wanted you to make sure that that chair was there. That was no question. And we sit up nice and tall. Hopefully your feet are still grounded into the mat or the ground, whatever it is that you're touching. Sitting up nice and tall, making whatever adjustments you need. And we're going to begin to work with our right leg. So we're going to imagine here that we have kind of handles. And when we lift the handles, our leg is going to lift with us. So as we inhale, lift that leg a bit. Now feel that left foot pushing into the ground to lift that right leg up. Now as you exhale, press that leg out, straighten it a bit, and then let's take that handle again, bend that knee and lift. And then exhaling it and press. Let's do that a few more times. Start to really feel the strength in the leg, but at the same time, feel the belly. And notice that their back doesn't round, we don't fall. We stay nice and tall. And then one more time, inhale and lift. Can we bring our hands under the thigh? Go ahead and let the weight of the leg kind of fall into the hands for a moment, because that allows you to lift up. And then notice what you're doing with the right toes. If you're pointing it down, you're really pressing the leg down. So maybe allow those toes to stay up. We're going to take the left foot and walk it right just a bit. And then can we lift this leg a little more and cross it over? So now the right leg crosses over the left. Now if for you today crossing that leg is not working out, you can just take that right ankle and drop it down on the front of the left ankle. And this will give you that little bit of a cross leg that we're looking for, just not as deep as when you have that leg crossed all the way over. Now remember that twist that we did in the beginning. So as we inhale, we're going to lift up. We're going to take our right arm this time. And then just go ahead and bring it behind your buttocks. That's all we want to do. And we're going to take the left arm and now reach it over to the outside of that right leg. Now if this right leg is crossed over the ankle instead of the knee, just maybe let your hand rest on the thigh. Sit up here nice and tall. Feel the belly muscles really work. These twisting belly muscles, these obliques, are really important for us to support us. And then very slowly, come back center. We want to do a little twist. So let's go ahead. We're going to bring our right hand under the left arm. So bring the right under the left and have the arms crossing so the left is on top, right is on the bottom. Maybe hug back in your shoulders, walk those hands, and then let's give ourselves here the eagle arms. We start to take the hands away, draw the hands together. Now, depending how you feel here, you may be able to take that right foot and bring it under that left. It's all kind of twisty things that you could possibly do to help you get a little deeper what you need today. And then let the arms release. And let the arms come out. And can we slowly bring that right leg down? Readjust that left foot. We want to go ahead and do the left. So again, like you have handles, inhale, let's lift that left. And then as you exhale, press that leg away and let the heel come down. Again, a few times, lifting up. And then exhaling it and releasing. So for those of you who may have come to the chair today to say, oh, well, let's give it a try, you may notice there's some work here because the hips are not moving. You have to use that nice strength. Let's do that one more time, taking that leg up, bringing the hands under the thigh. Maybe go ahead and press that left thigh into the hands. And again, pay attention to the left foot. If you're pointing the toe, you're actually pushing the leg down. So let the toes kind of come up. Feeling nice and tall, let's go ahead and cross this left leg over the right. We'll go ahead and take that right foot and move it to the left. Let's go ahead and do our twist. So when we're ready, our left arm reaches up, lowering that left hand behind the left butt, and the right arm reaches over that left. So now again, if you chose to cross the ankles, instead of the arm reaching over, you'll take your hand to the thigh. Feel the belly really taking you here into that twist. A perfect move to do before that 6 o'clock happy hour. Before the wine, the gin, as someone says, oh no, I do scotch. I went, okay. And then gently and slowly come back center. Let's go ahead this time, take our left under the right. Cross those arms, give yourself a nice hug. Let the hands then come up, come into the eagle. And then would you like to take your left foot under the right leg? How does that work? You may say not today, and that's okay, because there's always our yoga tomorrows. And then slowly let the arms release. Let the legs begin to release. Uncross the legs. And can we find that space that we began, that the feet are firm, that the butt eases its way back so that we sit tall. We let the backs of the hands melt on the thighs. We let the palms turn up. We sit up nice and tall. And remember, allow those legs to be slightly parted. Do you remember what I called them? Slam. Sit like a man. Let the eyes close. Breathing in. And breathing out. feel that sense of length and openness. Feel a sense of strength. Let's bring our hands together. Our thumbs at our hearts. You can feel the chest open as we lift our breastbone to our thumb. May the long-time sun shine upon you. May all love surround you. And may the pure light within you guide you on. Peace, peace, peace. Thank you for joining me. I am Flow Yoga Faith at Flow Yoga in Port Richey. I'll see you tomorrow. Namaste.